Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about Dynamite 300. We are literally slightly over a week away, 10 days away from All In. And I'm just gonna say right now, if I already didn't buy tickets for All In, I don't know how excited I would be overall for All In. Like, obviously I'm excited about, it being All In season and wanting to see the biggest show that AEW is supposed to have. But honestly, the last second booking of the show is just feeling a bit underwhelming for, not a bit, a lot underwhelming for me. But anyway, we start off with Hangman coming to the ring. Long story short, he tells Moxley that he wants to have a Texas death match at All In. He want to put up the stakes, and he's just like, we in Texas, let's do what the Texans would do, a death match. Now, our champion, Jon Moxley, come on out there with Marina. Takes like 5 hours to get to the ring, and that's our champion. We can't rush him. We gotta let him do his thing and let him come on out there to the ring. Jon Moxley's just like, all right, bitch, so you want to put it all on the table. You want to put your health, you want to put your career and everything on the line at All In a Texas death match. And then Moxley looks at him, he thinks about it for a second, he's just like, no. And then he ends up basically just saying no, and Hangman is not happy about it. Hangman ends up bitch slapping him in the face, and to be honest with you, it wasn't a good bitch slap, but he gave it anyway. And they start scrapping. Now they scrapping, and then here comes Hangman, who almost heinously attacked our champion with a fork. He takes out a fork from his pocket to attack Jon Moxley, but then our boy Wheeler Yuta comes out for the save and gets his hands on Hangman. Now Wheeler Yuta getting his ass whooped. Marina tries to get in there to help him, and trying to just to make sure nothing happens to our champion. Our champions end up just scurrying away when Claudio Castagnoli, our ride or die, comes into the ring and handle business. Now, they end up walking away, and Hangman gets on the mic and he's like, oh, that's what I thought. You a fucking bitch. You weren't going to give me the match. And you think that, if you don't give me what I want just because you're a champion, that you're just going to retain. Obviously, that's not the case. Moxley didn't really seem to be fazed by this. He's walking back towards the ring from the crowd, and then here comes Samoa Joe, who basically blocks him and is just like, not today, bitch, you're not gonna come over here. And then here comes the rest of the ops that come out and pretty much blocking Moxley from coming back there to the ring. Unfortunately, he gets into the head of Jon Moxley and end up getting Jon Moxley to agree to have the Texas death match, which I'm sure we knew was going to happen anyway. And before Hangman can leave, Marina was going to attack him with the briefcase. Marina ends up getting caught, so she doesn't do anything. Hangman ends up leaving the ring, and he goes and pretty much hits our girl Marina with a buckshot lariat. The heinous attack on our girl Marina. She did not deserve this. And they pretty much end with that. It felt a little bit different to see Marina gets attacked, but this kind of still feels like every other interaction that we've been getting with Hangman and Death Riders. So for me, it was like a little bit better than usual, but kind of feeling the same as typical. So honestly, I kind of was a little bit bored with this, but we're getting a Texas death match, and honestly I think that makes it feel a little bit better for a main event. Not sure how people are feeling about it, but I think that it won't feel like so two-dimensional. There being in a Texas death match does make things interesting, and it definitely leaves the door open for interference. So throughout the night, we're getting little things about Superman that's coming out next week. I don't know anything about this stuff, whatever. So they had like a villains versus heroes matches, and they're showing like little clips from the Superman movie. They had a couple of people that was going to be in the movie having little things with like Tony Storm, MJF, and even Kenny Omega, who's wearing like a Superman cape or whatever. It's kind of cute. Honestly, I don't follow any of these things, so it was whatever. We also had a couple of clips of the Young Bucks parading around in their city in California. I don't think it really added anything to the show, but we also did have the Young Bucks in action in a tag team match. So our first match of the night was a TBS title on the line. Mercedes Moné going against Mina Shirakawa. I know most people were just like, there's just no way this title was going to change hands. Not the week before All In, and I kind of felt like there was like less than a 1% chance for Mina to win, but I thought it would have been interesting for Mercedes to lose. Also, last time we seen these two in the ring was for the New Japan Strong Women's title in a triple threat match, and the last time before that was one-on-one. Mercedes got the undisputed Red Pro Women's titles from Mina Shirakawa. That was back at Wrestle Dynasty in January. So that was a while back ago. I thought the match was great. Toni Storm was ringside, not ringside, but she was sitting on commentary watching the match. She was like super focused on everything that's happening. Meanwhile, we have Luther, who is fanning her with a little napkin, just making sure she is staying nice and cool watching the match. But she seems super focused, but also looking doubtedly at Mina in this match, almost like, girl, I know you're not gonna win, but I'm just here for support. And Mercedes ends up retaining, so I don't think anybody was necessarily surprised about that. We had a steak dinner and everything, just like what Mercedes been doing. Even a birthday cake, I think. I don't know if it was a birthday cake, but it was a cake that was there too. So after the match, I was like, all right, it's going to be post-match attack, and maybe Mercedes might get hit in the face with a cake or some shit like that. Whatever situation is. After the match, Mercedes ends up attacking Mina Shirakawa, and our girl Toni Storm comes in the ring, and she gets attacked. And then Mercedes leaves the ring, throws the cup of water at Luther, and then she takes the big cake and she licks it and puts it down and walks away. What? Something about that, I just feel like there was a missed opportunity here where y'all could have done something. Nothing about this really felt like there was even a reason for Toni Storm to even be out there, to be honest with you. Now, she did promise last week that she wasn't going to get involved in the match, which I can understand. But after the match, like, there was nothing that happened there that really made it feel like anything progressed between the two of them after that match. And then a good cake ringside just to get licked is just very strange to me. Now, after this, we do have a four-way to determine the number 2 spot for the Casino Gauntlet match. We had Anthony Bowens going against AR Fox, going against Brody Kane, going against MJF. MJF comes out with the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby's wearing pants that honestly look too tight for him to even get through the ropes to get in that ring. And I thought it was interesting that they stayed throughout the match, because I was just expecting for there to be interference. For me, this was my favorite match. Yes, MJF spent a good portion, like literally sitting at commentary, just talking his mouth off and just pretty much being smart by saying, let me let everybody else kill each other. I'll get in here when I feel like getting in, which I think was smart. But I would have loved to see him a little bit more in the ring. But as MJF, I think he can get away with things like this because it's things that he's done in the past. MJF, in my opinion, don't even need to be in matches to qualify himself to be doing things like this. I think his time in AEW, all in all, has really spoke for itself, where he can just literally just show up to matches like this without having to earn a spot. However, he ends up taking the win with the Salt of the Earth on fucking AR Fox. I'm not gonna lie, like, Brody Kane, I guess that's his hometown that he was in, and everybody was cheering for him. People are cheering for AR Fox. They love AR Fox, and then Anthony Bowens was there. You know, MJF even offered them money to be like, just get your ass out of here and let me win. And honestly, I would have taken the money. I think that would have been cool. But I liked everybody here in the ring. Saw a little bit more aggression from Anthony Bowens. I don't know where things are going to go for him from here, but I was kind of hoping to actually see something different when it came to AR Fox or even Brody winning. However, MJF ends up taking the win, which I'm not upset about. So he ends up earning the number 2 spot. Now, after he wins, Pastor Briscoe come on out there with a new shirt that says MJF has a tiny kosher pickle, which I already told y'all last week that is fake news. It's not true. And if anybody wants confirmation, MJF, you can give me a call. I will confirm that for everyone else. Now, long story short, Mark Briscoe's just like, hey, you and me next week, we're going to have like a promo thing going on, promo battle or whatever. Honestly, I guess I'm okay with that. I can't say like I'm looking forward to it. So that's okay. And we'll see what ends up happening with that. Obviously, there's going to be attacks and shit going to be happening. However, we actually do get Jet Speed that ends up coming out, and they end up getting into it with Hurt Syndicate. Hurt Syndicate beat them up like 4 separate times after they kept leaving. And when I tell y'all, Jet Speed, they were wrapped up with kinesio tape or whatever the hell that was, wrapped up around their ribs and everything. And they kept saying, "That's all you got?" Then they came right back on the ring, whooped their ass, and they left. And they came back again and whooped their ass over and over again. And then that last beatdown they got, here is Kevin Knight saying to Shelton that, "Hey, I want to see you one-on-one." I'm assuming that he wants to go one-on-one with Shelton, and if he wins, he and just Jet Speed all together gets an opportunity to go for the tag titles at All In. I don't remember hearing all that, but I'm thinking that's where it's going to go down to. And then he said something about, "Oh, Shelton, I know your mama didn't teach you to hit like a bitch," or some shit like that. And I know Shelton, I don't think he hit like a bitch. He don't seem like that type to me, but whatever. Honestly, I'm bored. Like Hurt Syndicate, I actually do really enjoy them. I just feel like the situation that they're in does not make me feel excited to see Jet Speed versus Hurt Syndicate. Like their styles are so different. The story is barely there, if you ask me, and I don't know where it's going, but I do feel like it's gonna get to that point where it's just like, they're gonna go against Kevin's gonna go against Shelton and somehow get his hands on a tag team match with Hurt Syndicate at All In, and honestly, I just don't care for it. Now after this, we have another really great match. We had trios action. We had the Young Bucks teaming up with Kenosuke, the gosh, the Lord have mercy, to go against Paragon and Bandito. When I watched this, I kept saying over and over on live stream, like, why is Paragon not fucking going for the tag titles at All In? Like, this team is so motherfucking legit. This is why I keep saying, like, they've been there for the longest. Kyle O'Reilly is so fucking talented. Roderick, these people got lost in the shuffle. That motherfucking moment that fucking Adam Cole came back, and y'all can fight me on it. Y'all know I'm telling the truth here. But anyway, they end up having a pretty cool matchup here. Bandito wasn't doing anything anyway, and he's going to be going against Takeshita on next Friday at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view for the Ring of Honor World title. So, we got to play that up somehow. So we got a little bit of a tease of them two opening the match. But overall, I thought this was really great for everyone. Everyone here are really, really great wrestlers, and I thought they did well together. And I think it's probably foreshadowing a little bit more with Takeshita and the Young Bucks, because I feel like at some point in the near future, we're going to see Takeshita end up breaking away from Don Callis' family, since Okada's getting all the glory and shine over there anyway. Takeshita ends up taking the win, hitting a Raging Fire onto Kyle O'Reilly, which Kyle, we're praying it would have been a cool opportunity to see Paragon going against the Hurt Syndicate. I think that would have been a better matchup over Jet Speed. Now, after the match, William and Swerve came on out there. And this, I want to point this out. William and Swerve didn't come out to help Hangman earlier in the night, which I feel like was very strange, because they've been fighting over the fact that they should be helping Hangman with this Death Rider situation, but they didn't come out. But we knew y'all answers were there, which is very interesting. Swerve and William come out basically saying, "Oh, last week we challenged y'all to a match for All In. We didn't get a motherfucking response. So what's up? Where's the response?" And the Young Bucks is like, "No, we're not doing it." Then William says, "Oh, okay. We're gonna put this on the line. So basically, it's gonna be your EVP titles. When we beat y'all, the EVP titles are." I think it was Swerve who said the EVP titles is going to be going for the fans. So basically the fans are EVPs. And I was just like, well, Tony Khan, I don't think you want me to be EVP, but we'll see. And then William put another wager on the table and said, if we lose the match between y'all two idiots, then Swerve and I won't be able to challenge for the AEW World Championship. And Swerve said, bitch, who the fuck is we? Who is we? And honestly, I was just like, why would William say that? Like, speak for yourself, bro. I don't know about all that. Now, the Young Bucks, they're just like, okay, well, we hear you, but I don't know if Swerve agreed. If Swerve can agree, then sure, we'll do the match. Swerve is very hesitant, and Prince Nana should have talked his ass out of it, but Swerve ends up agreeing anyway. That told me everything I need to know. Why was Swerve and Hangman, one of the two biggest main event players in the whole motherfucking company, who's unfortunately in tag matches this year at All In, going to forfeit for a whole year opportunities to be going for the world title. There's just no motherfucking way. Now, after all that fiasco, we do have Swerve and William tagging together to go against Jalisco and Beast Mortos. Another really great match. In terms of the matches, I thought the matches were all great. I just feel like the progression leading into All In, the hype of it is just not there because things are just kind of being last second. There's nothing for the TNT title going on, nothing for the damn trios titles going on. They had to fucking unify the damn Continental and International because they just can't do anything else at this point. So it's a lot of things that just feel like things should have been definitely at another level right now in terms of building up for All In. But whatever. Beast Muertos, Jalisco, I really love LFI. Roosh, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Something is inconsistent when it comes to Roosh, but whatever. The match was great. And can I just say, like, William and Swerve, they actually make a really great team. Like, their chemistry together is really great. They even have like a whole finisher together and everything. And it's just like, oh, I wouldn't mind actually seeing y'all winning the tag titles. I would be cool with that. However, they are main event players in this company, and I would like to see them more in bigger storylines and not chasing the tag titles if it gets to that point. But I do feel like anybody who's been watching them as of late would enjoy them teaming up with each other and wouldn't mind seeing them holding tag titles together. They end up taking the win after Swerve hits a devastating house call. Beast Martos, that new mask you wearing, I'm not feeling it, but whatever. And they end up winning. So honestly, that kind of foreshadows a little bit what's going to happen at All In. And honestly, they could possibly end up having match of the night with the Young Bucks, but we'll see what ends up happening with that. Now let's talk about our main event. Main event, we do have Kota Ibushi with the new abs going against Kazuchika Okada. Uncle Don came on out there with him, which is interesting because we've been seeing him with Okada consistently. Takesha was out here earlier. I didn't see you with him. Lance Archer getting TV time as well, coming out there behind everybody else. And the match, well, slow start. Things obviously did pick up at some point, like towards the end. I don't think people was expecting to see something like you would have seen like a New Japan or something, but I don't know what it is. I think I have to accept, and I think a lot of other people are going to have to accept that Okada, Ibushi, and a whole bunch of y'all that was in New Japan are not wrestling like how y'all was wrestling in New Japan. And for me, I'm just going to have to accept that. It's a little bitter pill for me to swallow. These guys are getting older. They've had injuries and things like that. And I think for them, they're looking at coming to AEW to cool things down in terms of their careers, in terms of not having to wrestle heavy like how they were in New Japan. So that's how I'm kind of looking at it at this point. The energy, at times, it was just high and low for me. It wasn't bad, but like I said, you're just going to have to accept, like, these guys are not giving the same energy like in Japan. So whatever. I didn't see Okada losing this. The title was not on the line. He ends up winning with a rainmaker. And to be honest with you, if that was a rainmaker, baby, it barely rained. So for me, I was a little just, whatever. But obviously, with Okada winning, Lance Archer being out there, Uncle Don being out there, and then Rocky Romero, who just poofed and just showed up in the ring out of the blue. I don't even know where he came from. In the ring, they end up putting the pause on Kota. And I was just like, I'm just going to hold on to my underwear because I already know what's happening. We know Kenneth is coming out. Kenny ends up coming out. What he had in his hand, Kenny had something, whatever he had in his hand, and ends up coming out to the ring. A chair. He had a chair in his hand, ends up coming into the ring. Obviously, everybody is scattering like flies because they don't want that smoke. At least we got confirmation that Kenny's no longer in the hospital. And the Golden Lovers has reunited. You know what? I don't see Ibushi necessarily wrestling at All In. We'll probably get an appearance from him in terms of to try to keep things somewhat even in terms of interference during the match for the Unified Championship. But I was expecting something a little bit more explosive or whatever. But it was okay. Not bad to end off the show. And cameraman, it's me and you next time. Next time I see you, cameraman, because Kenny came on out there with a shirt, and just as he was taking it off, cameraman looked away and then cut off the fucking feet. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? The fact that Kenny's taking off his shirt is now when y'all want to cut off the damn camera. I could not believe it. That's neither here or there. Like I said, we got a female demographic to cater to, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Overall, the show not bad. I just feel like the name of All In is what's getting people to be excited for the pay-per-view. But I just feel like there's not much happening. We're 10 days away, and there could have been so much more to look forward to. And I just don't understand why things are being put together last second. We made it to 300 episodes of Dynamite. I want to see another 300 episodes. Another 100 episodes of Collision is coming on this weekend. And we have to do better in terms of booking, especially when it comes to pay-per-views, especially your biggest show of the year. You guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I will be back tomorrow with Ring of Honor. See you guys then.